So, Death Battle, Batgirl versus Spider Gwen, or Ghost Spider as she is now referred to. To start off, when I was in middle school, I've watched a few Batman cartoons, and back then I didn't have too much knowledge of the internet as I do now, as I could just watch stuff online for free and stuff. Batgirl was pretty much one of my crushes throughout middle school and maybe a little bit of high school, I guess. Probably my third crush, second being Catwoman and the first being the Black Cat. And I out of and I really enjoyed the new Batman Adventures cartoons, which is Batman the anime series season 4 because I loved her outfit. And I loved that cartoon because she was never Oracle. When Barbara Gordon became Oracle, it kind of ruined it for me. I mean, she did bounce back in the new Batgirl comics in 2011 with her wearing Kevlar instead of the black skin-tight leather outfit, but I digress. And Spider-Gwen. She first appeared in the Spider-Verse multiverse comics, and apparently she gotten so popular that she's got a comic series of her own. And I've heard some news that Spider-Gwen as Venom is going to be fighting Mary Jane as Carnage? I liked Spider-Gwen. I thought she was cool and whatnot. But don't get me started on Into the Spider-Verse, please. Seriously, she's been through better movies in True Grit 2010 remake. I enjoyed these two characters, but for this particular one, instead of just being interested in how the fight goes out, as I do with two characters I really like, I'm going to be rooting for Batgirl just a little bit because I've been with her longer, and she's pretty much one of my crushes throughout middle school. Fictional crushes. Let's go.
Who runs the world?
The ladies? So obviously there's a bunch of awesome crime-fighting chicks out there.
Like Barbara Gordon, the DC Comics vigilante known as Batgirl.
And Marvel's Gwen Stacy, the one you know as Spider-Gwen. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
It looks like it's going to be 3D animated.
Barbara Gordon always had a connection to crime fighting. Her father was Gotham City's police commissioner, and she idolized the legendary superhero, Batman.
So she whipped up her own bat costume to crash a police ball. Yeah, she's a rebel, but plot twist, a criminal crashed it first and she wound up saving the day.
This sparked a fire in Barbara, a fire for justice, and a drive to confront crime on her own. With this new mission came another goal, to officially join Batman and Robin
as the next badass crime fighter, Batgirl. You know, how come she's called Batgirl when Dick gets to be Robin? Her identity and individuality shouldn't be anchored to the patriarchal idea that women are publicly...
Maybe she's called Batgirl because she was a teenager when she first started. I mean, sure, she'll grow up and still take the title, but Batwoman is pretty much already taken thanks to Kate. Assholes.
Defined by the men in their life.
Well said, Boomstick. Now, joining the Bat family wasn't easy. The dynamic duo weren't exactly keen on adding a third wheel.
But Batgal worked hard to prove herself, and she's not just a tough fighter.
Okay, what? I don't remember much of the cartoons, even though I've watched season 4. But she's holding together the T-Rex's mouth. No. Just no.
She's super smart.
With a strong understanding of technology and computer hacking, Batgirl knew she could prove useful to a team that relies on tech. Like, Batman and Robin.
How could the Bat and the Bird say no?
And after settling into the Batcave, she honed her skills by training with the Batman himself.
Who's basically the world's greatest ninja times 1,000. Not like she was some rookie before that, though. Her cop dad had her study a bunch of martial arts like judo and karate.
Of course, Batgirl wears her own custom bat suit, lined with Kevlar and filled to the brim with advanced technology.
It's basically a slimmed-down combination of military-grade armor and spy gear that even James Bond would be jealous of. Heck, Batman's version helped him survive this humongous explosion. Look at the size of that thing!
She also added plenty of her own tools to her arsenal for an extra advantage. Everything from a taser to pepper spray, concussion bombs, smoke bombs, and foam bombs that can bind people in place.
What's with all the bombs?
And of course, she's got batarangs. Dummy?
Here I come. I'm just dying to help.
Everyone knows about the basic shuriken the bats are famous for.
Ow.
But Miss Gordon also carries an electric variant.
Huh. Well, that was...
You know, that's very nice of you. That you never appreciate me. You know what? If there was an award for being nice, you wouldn't win it. You can hear me?
Those are awesome. Let me try. Yeah. Oh, God, why?
Well, at least you put that robot out of his misery. There's the regular batarangs, electric batarangs, and the explosive ones. Okay, moving on.
Anyway, Batgirl's also got guns, but like non-bullet ones. She's got a gun that shoots sleeping gas, a gun that shoots a grappling hook, and a gun that shoots batarangs. Because why would you throw something when you can fire it out of a gun?
Actually, Batman had something like that in the Return of the Joker games.
She's quick enough to dodge bullet fire and avoid electricity from Livewire.
Who's basically just a scarier version of Blue Jamie Foxx from that one movie about amazing spiders.
And hotter.
Batman's tough enough to take a 5-story fall or have a friggin' building explode while she's inside. Damn, girl, you're unstoppable.
Well, until she was shot and paralyzed from the waist down. But even with the loss of her legs, she rallied around her peers and kept fighting the good fight as Oracle.
Remember those computer skills? Well, they sure came in handy here, along with her photographic memory. Plus, she can dodge bullets while in a freaking wheelchair. Man, I bet she'd kick ass at Murderball.
Certainly setting her apart from the likes of Batman and Robin. She even learned stick fighting while still paralyzed.
She can beat your ass even while sitting on hers. What can't she do in that wheelchair? Well, besides walk.
Not for too long, though. She eventually received neural implants in her brain and spine that let her walk again. Unfortunately, these devices are vulnerable to short-circuiting and AI hacking, but they're an acceptable risk and have been improved over time to resist such incursions.
Which just makes her that much harder to beat. I mean, she's strong enough to outmuscle a giant mutant shark and suplex a fully grown tiger. Move over, Joe Exotic. Make way for the Tiger Queen.
Thanks to her police father and her experience with the Bat family, Barbara Gordon's become a well-rounded protector of her city.
Crazy to think how far the wannabe sidekick has come. She's really stepped out of Batman's shadow and become her own hero. The goddamn Batgirl.
Overstepping yourself a little? Try me.
Alright, before we go any further, Spider-Gwen lately seems to be relying on the Venom symbiote on Earth-65, and from what I understand, the Venom symbiote, much like the Ultimate Comics symbiote, is a little different.
Before Mary Jane, everyone's favorite spider superhero Peter Parker dated a girl named Gwendolyn Stacy.
But then she fell off a bridge and died. The end.
Except that isn't the end. The universe is full of possibilities. What if, in another timeline, that never happened? What if Peter never found that radioactive spider that made him Spider-Man in the first place? What if the superhero was Gwen?
Welcome to Earth-65. This Gwen was a teen kicking back in New York City. She's a drummer for her high school band and the daughter of a police chief.
And she's this world's one and only Spider-Woman.
Though you might know her as Spider-Gwen. With her cool powers, she got busy fighting crime. But hey, who can blame her for showing off a bit? She does whatever a spider can.
Though her police father didn't approve, insisting Spider-Woman could use her powers for the good of others. However, her close friend, the non-superpowered Peter of this world, had a different take.
He was getting bullied all the time and idolized Spider-Gwen's power. So of course, he figured the only way to stop the bullies was to get powers like hers. Except he accidentally turned himself into a giant monster lizard. Okay.
And
whom
died.
young Miss Stacy was forced to subdue. Peter ultimately succumbed to his experiments, dying in her arms. His death turned Spider-Woman into a fugitive on the run, but also inspired her to take her father's advice.
It was time to step up as a superhero. With her spiderific powers, she can crawl on walls and stick to any surface. Imagine, you're sitting on your couch being all that is man. You look up at your ceiling, and instead of seeing a normal spider, there's a whole-ass woman up there. Yes, please.
Spider-Woman also has the classic spider sense, which constantly scans her surroundings and alerts her to incoming danger.
How many times have we said the word spider so far? We get to 50, do we get a free taco?
Thanks to her spider sense, Gwen's move fast enough to dodge bullets, lasers, and lightning from Electro.
On his best day, classic Spider-Man's even dodged beams of light, at least for a bit before he got smacked.
She's tough enough to power through point-blank explosions just as well as electrocution. And yes, she has similar powers as other spider people like main universe Peter, who survived a massive explosion that annihilated the top of this skyscraper.
And she's strong enough to punch Rhino through a wall, the guy, not another animal, and lift over 10 tons.
But of course, to truly fit the role of Spider-Woman, she needed one last thing. Thanks to Janet Van Dyne, aka the Wasp, Gwen received her very own web shooters.
Why do these people keep using sticky stuff that just gets everywhere? Kinda gross.
The web fluid isn't just sticky, but incredibly strong.
Hey,
The tensile strength of regular spider silk can reportedly reach up to 178 kilograms per square millimeters in a cross-section. Scaled up to a human-sized web, it would be nearly as strong as steel.
oh, come on, Wiz, this is a new shirt.
That can't be. It already has beer stains all over it.
That's just my style. Like all those girls that just cut a bunch of holes in their jeans and ruin them.
Even with those similar powers, Gwen's not your average spider hero. She's made a habit of traveling throughout the multiverse.
And she lost her powers permanently. They were stolen by Cindy Moon because she's the worst. Gwen could briefly restore her powers with these isotope things, but she didn't really have a good solution until she found Venom. No, really, Venom. You know, the scary alien sludge monster guy that eats brains?
Despite it being, well, Venom, Gwen took the symbiote for herself. Formed into her new suit, her powers were fully restored.
Oh yes, she's back in black.
I should note this version of Venom is a bit different from the one you're most familiar
That's
with.
what I said.
It was lab created and not nearly as potent or powerful.
It can form talons, camouflage her, and do some limited shape-shifting. But Gwenom won't be reforming from a puddle of goo or anything crazy like that. Also, she can create even more spiders? Who the hell came up with that? I guess the only problem is the symbiote's weak to loud sounds and fire. It's basically scared of a metal concert.
Ironic, considering its preferred look. But it's still Venom, and its violent nature tore Gwen apart. Eventually, she wound up unmasked and indicted.
What do you mean unmasked? Her name's Spider-Gwen. Everyone should have figured that out.
Have you been paying attention?
Yes, Wiz. Badass spider chick kicked lots of ass.
After serving her time and even gaining control of the symbiote, shifting it into her more iconic getup, Gwen took a trip to the mainline 616 Earth.
Basically, she got about as popular as Spider-Man, and they wanted to jam her in the universe.
There, she regained her secret identity. But since there were a few other Spider-Women running around, she took on a new moniker, Ghost Spider.
There we go.
Ghost Spider! That's right. This chick's too good to protect one world. She's got two. It's awesome to see how far she's come from teenage show-off to guardian of the multiverse.
And that's why I work alone. I need...
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
But while these gals have survived some close shaves in the past, you too can get a close shave with Harry's.
Tired of overpaying for razors?
I think I could shave just fine. No, seriously, I don't need it. Oh, okay. That goes on YouTube comedy. You showed up at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Stupid thing. I said take me to Miles, not this.
So this is going to be a 3D fight?
Seems like you're the stupid one for dropping by unannounced.
Don't you treat your guests well. Point taken, Dracula. I'll get out of your hair. See ya.
Up! Up!
End of the road, loser.
Oh, the Venom symbiote.
I'll find you. You're on my turf.
Too late. Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Ow! 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 Damn it! Come on! Come on!
Just use some other Oh! This. They just took the moves exactly from the first Spider-Man movie when Spider-Man dodges the pumpkin things.
Shoot! You haven't won yet.
Oh, she's gonna deliver now. Oh! Oh!
Now I have.
KO! Looks like Batgirl's turned into Splat Girl.
You know what? This time I'm not even mad. Because,
Batgirl wielded an impressive arsenal with plenty of tools suited to combat Gwen's abilities. Not to mention, Gwen was no match for her stellar intelligence.
Which made this pretty close. There are plenty of versions of this fight where Batgirl could take down the symbiote with sound and fire.
But even with such weaknesses, the Ghost Spider held enough of her own advantages to take the win more times than not.
So while Batgirl's training was certainly better, the spider sense is just super broken. Gwen and other Spideys have held up against martial arts
that's true.
masters like Captain America, who is definitely on par with super ninjas like Batman.
Not to mention, Gwen was clearly stronger than Barbara. Plus, Spider-Man survived that skyscraper bomb with the same powers, which Batgirl definitely wouldn't walk away from.
It was way bigger than the building blast that Batgirl barely survived. Hell, Batman's biggest explosion survival feat doesn't even match it. Listen, I know explosions, and by measuring the size of this blast, I can tell it's equal to about 60 tons of TNT. But applying the same math stuff to Spider-Man's, it's more than double that.
To be frank, Batgirl had the tools she needed to take down Spider-Woman. Gwen was simply stronger, faster, tougher, and made good use of the spider sense, making it extremely difficult for Barbara to land a decisive hit before taking one herself.
It seems batty, but Batgirl was overwebbed by Spider-Gwen spinning this one in her favor. Jesus webbed.
The winner is Spider-Gwen.
Thanks for checking out that episode of Death Bat.
Yeah, I pretty much lost, but you know what? This time I'm not even mad. Some anime I don't really give a shit about. Alright, so yeah, I was wondering if they were gonna bring up the small stuff about like the Venom symbiote and of course the Ghost Spider name, but you know what? I'm glad they did. I got nothing else to say. Please consider liking and subscribing if you like what you see, and I hope you have a good day or night. Take care. Have a happy Merry Christmas.